They've offered plenty of thoughts and prayers, members of Congress, but they've passed not a single new federal law to reduce gun violence. Enough prayers. Time for some action.
President Biden announcing several executive actions on gun control today, calling gun violence in the U.S. an international embarrassment.
But one gun advocate says the president might not get the outcome he's hoping for. Our Lauren Edwards reports tonight.
People on both sides of the aisle want action.
The Biden administration introducing 6 executive actions that they believe will curb gun violence.
Gun violence in this country is an epidemic. Let me say it again. Gun violence in this country is an epidemic, and it's an international embarrassment.
One of his first actions, he says, is tighter restrictions on ghost guns. Guns that he says are made at home, built from different parts, that have no serial number. Open carry advocate Tom Lambert says there's a number of misconceptions with the term ghost gun.
One of the biggest misconceptions, and I see this everywhere right now, is supposedly that ghost guns are not subject to federal and state regulations pertaining to firearms, and that is absolutely not true.
He says the moment it becomes a firearm, it's immediately subject to federal and state laws, and he fears anything now can be labeled a ghost gun.
The ATF already considers this hunk of aluminum, that's nothing more than a paperweight, a firearm.
Biden's other actions, funding for intervention programs, establishing red flag laws to keep firearms out of the hands of people who courts deem dangerous, and requiring pistol braces to be registered.
A lot of the big things you see with gun control is they focus on cosmetic features or functional features that really don't have a lot to do with the operation of a firearm. This brace is a great example.
President Biden making these changes after 2 mass shootings, one in Georgia and one in Colorado, and more than 800 shootings, he says, in between. He says enough is enough.
They've offered plenty of thoughts and prayers, members of Congress, but they've passed not a single new federal law to reduce gun violence.
But Lambert says he foresees a lot of legal trouble ahead for the Biden administration. And ultimately, he says Thursday's announcement won't curb gun violence.
Quite often the case with gun control efforts is that they apply to people who are not the problem. They catch, let's call them good guys, rather than catching the bad guys.
Lauren Edwards, Fox 17 News.
And President Biden also nominated former federal agent David Chipman to serve as the director of the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms and Explosives. For a full list of those executive orders or to watch his press conference, you can head to fox17online.com.